Hi folks, Matt Easton here, scholagladiatoria. So about a week ago I received a message from Lloyd, that you will know as Lindybeige, or you might know him as Lloyd, telling me about something that was coming up that might be of interest to me. And in short, there's a new series coming out of Time Commanders. Now I don't know how many of the viewers here will remember this programme. I watched it when I was younger. It was on BBC Two, I believe, and it's the new series is going to be on BBC Four. And what this really was a gathering of YouTubers to essentially fight a battle in a sort of mock-up or near the studio or near the team that run the actual game for Time Commanders. And really for two teams of YouTubers to fight each other, to refight a historical battle. And Lloyd suggested that I be on his team, which obviously I was incredibly honoured that should be the case, and so it happened. So this that I'm just about to show now is what happened next. Okay. Hi folks, Matt Easton here. So I'm doing, well, what am I doing? I'm going to talk about this more in a future video, but who's this standing next to me?
It's Hannibal Barker!
What the devil are you doing here, Hannibal?
Oh, well, I'm commanding the Carthaginian army, and I'm also proving to the people, to that person, that lovely fan of ours who drew that picture in which I was a tiny hobbit. Do you remember the picture I'm talking about? We can bring it up on the screen now. Yes, that picture, in which I was a tiny hobbit. Whereas in fact I'm not a tiny hobbit. I'm in fact possibly slightly, yes, I think I'm slightly taller.
No, you're definitely, how tall are you?
6'3".
I'm 6'1"-ish. Okay,
right, so there you go. I'm not a hobbit. Now we know.
But Scalagrim, we've heard, is a hobbit.
Oh, he's tiny. He's a tiny little guy. Yeah.
But there we go. We're actually doing some, a bit
Time Commanders!
Yeah, a bit of filming and playing. We're playing Time Commanders, and it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, we've got 3 YouTubers that we're up against. They're sitting over there. They're the baddies, they're the Romans. Boo. Boo, obviously. Whereas we are the goodies. We are the Carthaginians. I'm Hannibal. And
I'm a lieutenant, not a lieutenant.
Oh! Don't sully your lips with that.
All these British people saying lieutenant.
Did you have to say it twice? Yeah.
I'm a lieutenant in charge of cavalry, of course, the glorious cavalry, and we absolutely thrashed them in the first battle.
Very thoroughly. Yeah.
We basically we just turned up and they just died.
That was approximately our tactics. Yeah.
In the second battle, they got some more forces. They got some
more cavalry and better cavalry.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly
and flaming arrows.
Flaming arrows.
They had flaming arrows, which made some of our elephants run away.
And our cavalry, whenever they charged in, would then stop. Just don't stop, you idiots! Do you remember your training? We kept shouting to them, but no.
So I think they had a big point advantage in the last one. But the next one we're going to do should be a bit more even. I think we're going to thrash them again.
That's the plan. The plan is to win.
I think we're going to do things a little bit differently this time. We've been learning, because obviously Rome Total War doesn't work exactly like reality, and we don't have exactly the same forces that were actually
we don't have any of the Italians, for instance. We're missing an entire line of infantry.
Where are the Italians from? We don't know.
Yeah.
No Macedonians.
No Macedonian Legion, no Brutians. It's just, where are they? We're just unknown.
But this is obviously very topical for Lloyd, because it is Hannibal doing his thing, so it's perfectly suited to you, isn't it? So it's only right that he gets to be the general.
Well, we might do some more later with Napoleonics, in which case I'd be quite happy to step down and let you be the top commander, and I'll be your lieutenant.
I could do Wellington, I think.
Yeah, you got the nose.
Got the nose for it. There we go. I'll get the hat as well.
Yeah.
So there we go. Hopefully I'll talk a bit more about this.
Yep.
And we're going to go and thrash Rome again.
Again.
Hopefully.
We shall do it in a manner full of hope.
Bye, folks.
Right. And wait, but whilst you're saying goodbye, if I could. Oh, wait a minute. I could. Aha! You see now. All right, you want to do that?
Stereo vision.
Whoa, okay, so now I am here with Matt Easton of scholagladiatoria.
So our actual team was made up of Lloyd as Hannibal Barker himself. I was commanding the cavalry, and the YouTuber known as Lionheart X10 was the infantry mostly. I had some slingers as well, and some elephants, which I suppose are a form of cavalry, and Lionheart had various forms of infantry, and I think that was it, but quite a lot of units and the main core of the army, of course. And having completely steamrollered the opponents in the first battle. In the second battle, they upped the points that our opponents had, which skewed us slightly. They had more powerful cavalry and slightly more cavalry. And also we were experimenting something, because we knew it was a second dry run battle, so it wasn't the sort of final thing. It was testing, so we were trying something out and it didn't really work. But it was fairly hard fought, but we narrowly lost it. For anybody who's played Rome Total War, you'll know that generally speaking Roman forces are quite hard to fight against, because they're very difficult to get to break. Unless you slam elephants into them or something else pretty monumental. So they're very reliable troops, generally speaking, very well armoured, well armed, well trained, high morale, blah blah blah. Anyway, the third and final battle, to cut a long story short, we absolutely annihilated the opponents, and we completely wiped them out, and we're left with a lot of our forces still on the map, as it were. I was commanding cavalry from my part. The elephants did a good job. We had the elephants in the centre. They slammed straight into, I believe it was triarii, Roman triarii, who were at the front, perhaps not wisely, of the Roman forces. And the Carthaginian elephants slammed into them. They kept changing formations. They were just a very poor thing to have at the front. The great thing about elephants in that game is when they start to get wounded and take casualties, they also go crazy. We'd sent the elephants out far ahead of our army, so when they went crazy, they didn't go crazy anywhere near us, and they only caused casualties to the enemy. The cavalry, the main, from my point of view, the main thing that I was trying to do is look for any units that were pinned at the front by our infantry. I would just try and slam my cavalry into the flanks and rear with my cavalry. And obviously if I could reach any fleeing units, I'd try and mow some of them down before then slamming into the back of someone else's engaged lines. But it went brilliantly, and Lloyd was a fantastic general. He was Hannibal Barca incarnate, I would say, and obviously I was honoured to be in charge of the cavalry, and really to say once again thank you to obviously the team that ran the actual game for us. Essentially Sega and BBC and everyone else who puts that show together, but also thank you a lot to Lloyd for inviting me along, and it was great to meet Lloyd, and I think, you know, he's a fantastic chap, and I'm sure we'll be doing more together in the future. Cheers folks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, follow us on Facebook. You can buy t-shirts through Spreadshirt, support us on Patreon, or follow us on Pinterest. Thank you.